Hello everyone, welcome to this video. I'm Teacher Godfrey. Together, we're going to explore the competency logic behind competency-based education, using learning at home and in the classroom. The best model of competency-based learning already exists in our homes.
Slow down, Abby. Let's keep the holes in a straight line. Dad said the plants grow better when they are spaced evenly.
I understand now. Spacing the holes helps the plants grow well. I'll do it this way.
Well done, children. You are doing it correctly. Straight lines and even spacing help the plants grow strong.
At home, learning happens naturally. When a parent teaches a child how to plant beans, they do not give notes. They show the child what to do.
Dad, this road is very smooth now. Was it always like this?
That's a good question, Jeho. Abby asked the same thing last time. Abby, can you tell Jeho what I told you?
You told us that when you were young, this road was just a footpath. People walked here every day because there were no cars. It's hard to imagine how life worked then. Now the road is so wide and smooth.
Yes, that's right, Abby. We walked everywhere. There were no cars in this place then. You would leave home, and your parents would simply wait for you to return. There were no mobile phones like today.
No phones? How did parents know where you were? What if something happened?
At home, learning can take different forms. Sometimes it involves practical activities, like working in the garden. Other times it involves listening, asking questions, and understanding how life has changed over time. What matters is not the type of activity, but how learners think, talk about ideas, and apply what they learn. This is the same logic that competency-based learning brings into the classroom. Let us now use a simple mathematics topic to illustrate how this home-like learning should be carried out at school. We shall use a topic called geometric construction skills to show how this approach works in practice. In this approach to learning, we do not begin with lessons. We begin with what the learner should be able to do, the competency. Being competent means using what you have learned to do something meaningful. The competency states what the learner should be able to do. In this example topic, the competency is: the learner uses angle properties of lines and shapes to solve problems. To achieve this competency, it is broken down into smaller steps called learning outcomes. Learning outcomes describe the observable abilities that learners develop along the way. For example, learners should be able to 1. Draw perpendicular lines. 2. Construct perpendicular bisectors. 3. Construct angles using a compass and ruler. 4. Draw polygons accurately. From the learning outcomes, teachers design lesson activities. At this stage, learners are practicing knowledge, understanding, skills, values, and attitudes, kuzva, which they will later combine to solve real-world problems. They are not yet demonstrating full competency. At the end of the topic, learners are given real problems from society to solve using what they have learned, and even what they have learned in related topics. These problems are presented through meaningful scenarios. Let us listen to this sample scenario as you read it on the screen. In a few weeks' time, your school will host this year's district food program. Many dignitaries and visitors are expected to attend. The head teacher would like to beautify the school compound so that it is neat, safe, and attractive for the occasion. Learners are invited to contribute ideas on how part of the school compound can be improved. Task: design and make a model to show how part of the school compound can be made beautiful. Notice that the task does not tell learners how to solve the problem. The scenario creates the need. The learner decides how to apply what they have learned. Because people naturally solve the same problem differently, this task allows multiple valid solutions. Learners may use different ideas, different designs, and different materials. What matters is not producing identical work, but demonstrating the required competency. Competency is demonstrated when a learner integrates KUSFA to solve a real-life problem. In doing so, learners use critical thinking, problem-solving, creativity and innovation, and communication. Learners may produce different solutions, but the focus is on evidence of ability. From the same scenario and problem, as you can see, learners produced different models as solutions. They used different materials, yet all the solutions are valid. Knowledge is learned, skills are practiced. Competency is demonstrated through integration. This is the logic of competency-based education. One scenario is not the only way to assess competency. Teachers can design many meaningful scenarios depending on the problem they want learners to solve. Using the same mathematics topic, learners can respond to different real-world needs. For example, improving school infrastructure, designing doors and door frames, ventilation and lighting, designing windows, grills and patterned openings, safety and enclosure, designing fences and gates, landscaping, designing garden layouts, paths and decorative patterns. The mathematics does not change. What changes is the problem to be solved. The activity of integration does not test whether learners remember content. It tests whether learners can mobilize relevant knowledge to meet a real need. Same topic, different problems, different outputs. Learning is not rushed. It grows through doing. Children talk to each other. They discover new ideas. They explain their thinking. They analyze what works. They apply their knowledge to real tasks. And they use what they learn to solve real problems. In this way, they are well prepared for the world of work. Finally, let us make some important conclusions. Competency-based learning is often misunderstood. It does not replace technical or academic courses. Instead, it helps learners understand why they are studying a topic. Every set of knowledge, every topic across all subjects, can be used to solve many different societal problems. Competency-based learning should not be confused with doing many activities. It is not about covering a lot of content quickly. It is not about memorizing notes or repeating procedures without understanding. It is not about producing identical products or following one fixed method. And it is not assessment by tests alone. Formal education originally developed during the Industrial Revolution to prepare workers for factory systems. Learners were trained to follow instructions, repeat tasks, and work in fixed ways. That approach worked for its time. But the world has changed. Continuing to teach learners using a factory-style model prepares them for a world that no longer exists. Competency-based education responds to today's reality. It focuses on understanding, application, and problem-solving in real-life situations. This shift is not about abandoning teaching or explanation. It is about ensuring learners actively participate, understand what they learn, and apply it meaningfully. Thank you for watching this video. We hope it has helped you understand the competency logic behind competency-based education. Competency-based education aims to produce citizens with competencies that enable them not only to seek employment, but also to create opportunities for themselves and others. In our next video, we will illustrate how generic skills and values are integrated into lessons, and how they can be assessed in a competency-based classroom. For more learning resources, please visit our website and YouTube addresses shown on the screen. Thank you, and keep learning.